you type in guy blows bear. Despite the t-shirt, that is all the bear material I will have this evening. Was anybody else thrown off by the completely blue room? Anybody? I was just happy I wore my blue shoes. I feel like this is what the inside of a mood ring looks like. Whoever's finger we're on, I feel like they're sad, alright? That's all I'm saying, guys. Threw me off. Okay, that didn't work. You guys like weed? So, cool with weed here? You guys? Alright, cool. I work at a dispensary, man. It's interesting. Are you guys kind of tired of stoners being so cringy, though? Yeah? Yeah? Like, the other day I had a guy coming to work, and he was like he got done with the transaction, and he goes, "Why, thank you," and Bob Marley. It's like, dude, did you just finger guns a Bob Marley at me? And I got really agitated by this, and I thought about it. I was like, man, this is the only drug that guy can do this with. Like, you can't score some crack and be like, Whitney Houston. It's not how it works, folks. It's not how it works. It's very interesting working with the general public. I had this guy come in the other day. I was like trying to make small talk. I was like, hey, where are you coming from? He's like, oh, I'm coming from Plymouth. It's about 3 cigarettes away from here. And I didn't know if that was some cowboy shit, or like maybe his ancestors are the reason the U.S. isn't on the metric system. You know, it just gets more abstract down the lineage. You guys know me. I like to have a good time. What's your name, sir? Steve. I like to have a good time. You know, I like to replace specific units of measurement with the use of illicit substances and the duration of time I take to use them. Love that, Steve. So I looked at this guy, I was like, oh, it's about where my uncle stays. Yeah, it's about an overdose away from here. All right, middle table, like the overdose joke. We're getting there. Oh, man. So we've been seeing the mullet come back recently, guys. Been seeing the mullet. You guys for it? I feel like the corner table's for it. A little bit. The mullet question's kind of weird. It divides some rooms. It's kind of like Roe versus Wade, but it's more like Joe Dirt versus David Spade. It's weird, man. It's weird. I feel like there's a lot of political affiliation with the mullet nowadays, right? Everybody's so political nowadays. Everybody's out here like, let's go Brandon, not my president. And I'm not political at all, guys. So I'm just kind of out here like, fuck Tim Allen, not my Santa Claus. Alright, we're loosening up on the Tim Allen, but alright, good. Oh man, I was thinking about that show To Catch a Predator the other day. I missed that show. You guys miss that shit? I feel like it probably would have never got canceled if they would have added more Scooby-Doo elements. Follow me here, folks. Sick van, talking dog. Chris Hansen would have a new catchphrase. Be like, you know, you would have gotten away with it too if you weren't diddling kids. You know, some people don't get on board for this one. But are you guys telling me you wouldn't watch Scooby-Doo and the Curse of Epstein's Island? Right? They unmask the guy. They're like, former President Bill Clinton. Scooby-Doo's out here like, Epstein didn't kill himself. Alright, a little bit touchy. I guess we should move on to some lighter material, right?
We got any hockey fans in the room? Yep. All right. I was watching the NHL playoffs a couple weeks ago, and Winnipeg was playing Calgary. This guy named Morgan Barron takes a skate to the face, 75 stitches down the front of this guy's face. And I was watching the game through angled TVs and mirrors so I could sit in my tub after a nice a giant wimp. And I gotta tell you, I'm watching this with eyes bugging out of my head that this guy, he's gonna be out for at least a season. 75 stitches on the front of his face. Comes back 20 minutes later to finish the game, and I gotta tell you, I have never felt like a bigger pussy in my life. That guy had balls of steel. My wife still asks that I wear a mask when we engage in coitus. So naturally I pulled out an N95 and she hands me a Goofy mask, the cartoon character instead. I've been married 12 years, I'm just still so thrilled that my wife wants to have sex with me that I went with it. Strange times in which we're living in, COVID and whatnot. Most strange, I would say, sorry, excuse me, I lost my train of thought. Most weird symptom I had was kind of like an upset stomach, and I'm working over at TSA at the airport, and all of a sudden I misplayed a fart, and I ended up shitting my pants at work. And I don't know if I can really emphasize the sense of panic that rolled through me. Luckily for me, we're wearing black cargo pants, and I ran as fast as I could to the bathroom, tried to play it off as best as I could by cleaning myself up. Nobody has brought this up yet. Nobody has seen Brian's video, so I think I'm in the clear, but the verdict is still out. I know it might not be visible at first glance, but my mother's side of the family is all off the boat from Cuba. They can all speak fluent Spanish. I can't speak a word of Spanish, but I listen to a little Enrique Iglesias here or there, and I can at least pretend to speak Spanish when somebody who doesn't speak English comes up and needs help at work. My supervisors have found this impressive. You know who doesn't find this impressive is the handful of actual Hispanics that I work with. One day, this beautiful Colombian girl I work with, her name is Patricia, came to work, and our shift started way too early at 3:45 in the morning. I said, "Hola, Patricia, you look very pretty today." And she looked at me dead in the face and she said, "Ben, you are not charming and you are not funny at all." And I said, "Well, hold the phone, Patricia. You should see me naked. I'm hilarious." My wife laughs every time she sees me. I got one more. So my mother floated over from Cuba in 1960 when things got weird, and my grandmother grew up in rural Cuba when there wasn't exactly meteorology, and so their solution to hurricanes was firing rifles in the sky. She was adamant that this was actually a solution to disperse hurricanes. And so during one hurricane season, she called up her congressman and she said, "I want you to point the rifles in the sky and shoot at the hurricane." And so now, after Brian sends me home, I gotta swing by Sunset Retirement and make sure my grandmother isn't wandering around lost with a rifle pointing in the sky. Thanks guys, that's all I got for everybody. You guys have a wonderful night.
You guys seen those Air Max Nikes? You guys know what I'm talking about? They're a shoe, and they got like the bubble in the sole of the shoe. I think those are a great idea until you go through a bad breakup, and she slashes your tires and your Nikes. Your friends call you to check how you're doing. They're like, "Hey, how's it going?" You're like, "My soul is deflated." There we go. I don't know if I'm proud of that one, guys. I don't know if I'm proud of that one. Okay. I guess we got to know each other a little bit. Something I keep on running into recently at the dispensary that I did not anticipate before working at a dispensary was the amount of old ladies that were going to come in and confide in me to get them a product that was going to get them to fuck. Like, something a lot of people need to realize, probably not you guys over here, but you guys, your grandma is trying to fuck. And she's coming to me for that answer, bro. It's weird, man. It's weird. And sometimes it's just like, can't I get treated like an old school drug dealer? You know, you never went up to Randy
through, what is it? Is it Georgetown? What's just a little bit south of here? Jamestown, one of those towns. And I'm stopped at a stop sign. It's like the road that goes between there and like Holland or something. I don't even know, there's some stop sign. I got rear-ended by a mad mother. I guess they're still big up there. We don't even have them in Detroit anymore. I mean, she had like a red thing attached to her antenna. And I'm just in there, she gets out of the car, she comes up to me, and she starts like sniffing me like a bloodhound. And she's like, sir, do I smell alcohol? I'm like, ma'am, I'm stopped at a stop sign. Mind my own business. You come up, hit me going 40 miles an hour from behind. You spilled my fucking beer. What kind of shit is that? I don't know. But it's just kind of a continuation of my winter. I found winter being so depressing this year. Is this blocking my face? I don't want to block my face because I am relatively attractive. Oh, is that okay? No, it's like the winter it's so depressing, isn't it? I saw where over 70% of all people in Michigan suffer from some form of depression. 70%. Well, I don't know if any of you, only 70%, but think about it. That means if you're depressed, you're normal. You don't need help. Yeah, it's the happy fuckers who need help. Yeah, you know what? This stupid smile on their face all the time, sir. Yeah. Drink up. Jesus. No, it's crazy. And so, like, I mean, I'll tell you, I finally broke down, and I went and saw a therapist. And I don't like to admit that, but I'll never see you again. And you know, the therapist says, you know, Don, don't worry, it's normal. You know, we're here in the winter in Michigan, days are short, nights are long, it's always dark. Don't worry. You have SAD, you have seasonal affective disorder. I'm like, Doc, I know that. Right? I mean, I wouldn't be here if I HAPPY or SCX. Oh man, they're looking at me like I'm a freak, and I am. But you don't have to look at me that way. Geez, you know, this whole depression thing, it just gets so crazy, so wacky. And I'm getting old, obviously. We were talking about, where's the gentleman who's older than me? There you go, thank you. But what am I? Don't get the stage fucking ready for me, okay? No, but I had a full body physical exam. You guys ever do that, full body physical exam? Oh man, I failed the most important test there is. Right? The finger up the ass test. Okay, who knows what that means? Yeah, well, colonoscopy, prostate exam, camera up the ass time. So I go to some hospital in Detroit. What is it? That's not Sparrows. I don't know, one of them hospitals in Detroit, right? And I go there, and the doctor, and she's like hopping an attitude, right? She goes, oh, you need an ass exam. Just open your mouth and say, ah. And then she wanted to charge me double for working on two assholes. Jesus. Well then, okay, so then she started getting down to business, right? She picks up this camera about the size of a, I don't know, what are they, like a medium-sized watermelon? Something like that. She dumps it in this vat of Vaseline, pulls it out, and she gently massages it up my asshole. Yeah, lucky. Oh man, you have never felt constipation like that, sir. I mean, it's crazy. So you got to picture the scene, right? There's like a TV camera up above. Who's ever had? I don't even know what I'm talking about. TV camera. Okay, there's a camera. I mean, there's a camera up my asshole, a TV monitor. She's got a joystick from like Sony PlayStation, and she's maneuvering this giant camera through my asshole. She's playing a game. It's like a video game to her. It's not hemorrhoids, it's asteroids. Oh, Jesus. Oh, and then she found a couple Klingons. Even worse, she found one of my dad's boots from like 1984. Oh, Jesus. Good thing I got that out, though. I don't know. I talk about being old, and I don't want to fixate on being old, but I am old. We're going to get there someday, God bless. I went out and I bought a digital life expectancy clock. You got any insurance people here? You were selling insurance, ma'am? No, anybody here do insurance? It's based on actuarial principles, right? It's a clock. I got it up on my living room wall, okay? And it counts down exactly how much time you have left to live. Digitally. In days, hours, minutes, and seconds. You gotta punch in like your age, your weight, with your gender, and then it tells you, you can tell how long you have left to live. The first day I got it, right, I rushed home, I punched in 6 beer. I lost 30 minutes of my life for 6 beer. And it was Miller Lite. Jesus. I knew I had to make some changes. I mean, I had to. That's all I drink, Miller Lite. Oh, do it. How many tonight? 12, 14. Yeah, I'll go anywhere. Overall, probably about 14. Okay, that's 7 hours, dude. Right, I will. No. So like the next day, I went to church, right? I went to church. And I came home, I punched it in my clock. I gained 3 hours. Yeah, I gained 180 minutes, right? For one trip to church. Why? I smell the fucking right. I became Catholic. No, I go to church every morning. Every night I drink me a case of beer. And I'm never going to die. Oh, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Oh, man, it don't get much better than that. Ah, gee whiz. So anyway, now I'm already lost. How am I lost? Oh, I know what I have to do. Wait a minute. I'm on my closer. Is that okay? Am I okay, Brian? You want me to put something in there? What? Okay. You know, I'm wondering about greeting cards. Did anybody get a Memorial Day card this year? You go to the Hallmark store, they got them for sale. They got Memorial Day balloons, Memorial Day cards, they got Memorial Day everything. And it's crazy. I mean, they got so many different holidays and special days, and Hallmark sells a card for each of them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know the rules, right? I mean, so I had my old secretary, or they're not even called secretaries anymore, what are they, personal assistant? Anybody here, or what are they? Personal assistant, right? She was a Jehovah's Witness. But you know what I learned? Jehovah's Witnesses, they want cards for Secretary's Day. Oh no, not for their fucking birthday or fucking Christmas. But on Secretary's Day, they want a damn card. They got cards now you can send to people if a pet dies. My little nephew, little Charlie, right when his fish died. And this kid, right, he's the kid. He's bawling, he's lost it. He can't control himself. So my sister said, just get him a card to make him feel better. Okay, so I got him a card. I put in a $5 bill and I gave it to him. Next thing I know, all his fish started dying. One at a time. And he comes up to me and he says, Uncle Don, how much for my kitty cat? I'm like, a cat? $1,000. I had it in the box the next morning. You know, what I can't understand the most is Christmas. I mean, now people send email Christmas cards, or they don't even send Christmas cards, right? They write letters, and they send everybody the same one. They don't send personalized notes anymore. But the thing is, people do send because they feel obligated. So if you send them a card, they're more likely to send you a card, right? So I decided to have some fun with it. I sent Christmas cards to 15 people I had never met before. Looked them up on the phone book. 15 people. 7 of them sent me cards back. Yeah. I thought, well, that's pretty good. That's almost 50%. But I wanted to increase my response ratio, right? So I did the same thing this year, but I took the time to write a personal note in each one. So 15 perfect strangers got a Christmas card from me that read something like this. Merry Christmas, Susie. I'm so glad that I finally found you. I hope we can get together again soon. Have a Merry Christmas. Love, Don. Your real dad. I thought it was pretty funny until I got sued for child support. Thank you very much. I'm Don Peterson.
We got any hockey fans in the room? Yep. All right. I was watching the NHL playoffs a couple weeks ago, and Winnipeg was playing Calgary. This guy named Morgan Barron takes a skate to the face, 75 stitches down the front of this guy's face. And I was watching the game through angled TVs and mirrors so I could sit in my tub after a nice stroll down the street because I'm a giant wimp. And I gotta tell you, I'm watching this with eyes bugging out of my head that this guy, he's going to be out for at least a season. 75 stitches on the front of his face. Comes back 20 minutes later to finish the game, and I got to tell you, I have never felt like a bigger pussy in my life. That guy had balls of steel. My wife still asks that I wear a mask when we engage in coitus. So naturally, I pulled out an N95. She hands me a Goofy mask, the cartoon character, instead. I've been married 12 years. I'm just still so thrilled that my wife wants to have sex with me that I went with it. Strange times in which we're living in, COVID and whatnot. Most strange, I would say. Sorry, excuse me. Lost my train of thought. Most weird symptom I had was kind of like an upset stomach, and I'm working over at TSA at the airport, and all of a sudden I misplayed a fart, and I ended up shitting my pants at work. And I don't know if I can really emphasize the sense of panic that rolled through me. Luckily for me, we're wearing black cargo pants, and I ran as fast as I could to the bathroom, tried to play it off as best as I could by cleaning myself up. Nobody has brought this up yet. Nobody has seen Brian's video, so I think I'm in the clear, but the verdict is still out. I know it might not be visible at first glance, but my mother's side of the family is all off the boat from Cuba. They can all speak fluent Spanish. I can't speak a word of Spanish, but I listen to a little Enrique Iglesias here or there, and I can at least pretend to speak Spanish when somebody who doesn't speak English comes up and needs help at work. My supervisors have found this impressive. You know who doesn't find this impressive is the handful of actual Hispanics that I work with. One day, this beautiful Colombian girl I work with, her name is Patricia, came to work, and our shift started way too early at 3:45 in the morning. I said, "Hola, Patricia, you look very pretty today." And she looked at me dead in the face and she said, "Ben, you are not charming and you are not funny at all." And I said, "Well, hold the phone, Patricia. You should see me naked. I'm hilarious." My wife laughs every time she sees me. I got one more. So my mother floated over from Cuba in 1960 when things got weird, and my grandmother grew up in rural Cuba when there wasn't exactly meteorology, and so their solution to hurricanes was firing rifles in the sky. She was adamant that this was actually a solution to disperse hurricanes. And so during one hurricane season, she called up her congressman. She said, "I want you to boil the
bartend. I wait tables. I feel like I have the body energy of somebody who works for a low hourly wage. You know what I mean? I look like somebody who doesn't know their worth. You know what I mean? I wait tables. I used to work at this shitty diner. It was open 24 hours. There was a shooting in the parking lot. I was robbed at gunpoint, and Mike Pence had breakfast there. Just the 3 worst things that you want to happen at your job. And then I got a fancy job at a fancy restaurant. It's like fancy. I know it's fancy because we have, oh wait. Yeah. It's a fancy restaurant now. We still have Karens, because, you know, cunts be cunting. Ayo. But sometimes they'll still tip like 30%, so it feels like we're just playing a sexy game, dude. Feels like we're playing 50 Shades of Karen, you know? She's like, does this look like a buffalo chicken salad to you? I'm like, I don't know, mommy. I mean, ma'am, I don't know. And it's a fancy restaurant. I know it's fancy because we have aiolis on the menu. That's just fancy mayo, you guys. Who are we fooling? We have aiolis on the menu. And so although I can recognize that our menu is sophisticated, I don't know necessarily that our clientele is. Because last weekend during the dinner rush, this lady kept ordering all her areolas on the side. Her areolas, her brother's areolas, her sister's areolas. Guys, she was saying areolas so much, I was just like sure I was being pranked. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, I was like, she was in her van with her friends, probably passing a blunt, being like, we're gonna see how many times we can say areolas before our waitress breaks character. But they don't know who they're fucking with, because I think I'm a better server than I am a comic, and I've been murdering it tonight. In fact, when she left, I said, here's your areolas to go, be careful, they're sensitive, I mean spicy. Same job, I was working at the cook that we used to work there. He was like a gym rat. He was like a big, buff dude. He was going to school for it. And he asked me and my coworker, another gym rat looking ass dude, he goes, if you guys could lose 3 toes or 3 fingers, which would you rather lose? And I was like, me and my coworker were like, toes, right, easy? And he was like, I don't think you understand. If you lose the wrong 3 toes, you might never have balance for the rest of your life. I was like, I don't think you understand. My fingers are my dick.